Hi, my name is Aaron Dyke, and I am going to be presenting the problems with multiple managers for the Business Communications BAC3000 class. First off, I wanted to talk about more managers equals more problems. So, where I was coming from this is that basically a lack of communication amongst managers can lead to huge problems, right? So that brings up problems with the chain of command. The vision is what's to be accomplished, who to prioritize, basically everything that would come with a lack of communication. Personal experiences and primary research. I had experience working for multiple managers in the summer of 2018, where I worked for a landscaping company. We basically had four managers telling us what to do. From my personal experience, I thought it was horrible because they did have a lack of communication, and that basically made the chain of command very unclear. We didn't know who to follow, or who to listen to, and who to prioritize. And this became a huge issue when we were starting projects. We would do hours of prep work, and then as soon as we were ready to get rolling on something, we'd have to switch to another project, and by the end of the day we had accomplished almost nothing, and that really brought down company morale, and it could have been avoided with a better communication. Something else that I found in my primary research was that a lot of people that I talked to worked for labor intensive workplaces, and they felt a lot of those didn't need more than one manager, maybe a supervisor, but that was just to make sure things were getting done correctly, not telling people to do different things. So um, a lot of people said that they felt their job would be easier with only one manager, or if there were two, knowing who had authority over who, um, and so that they knew who to prioritize rather than dropping what they were doing to take on more responsibilities from other managers. Secondary research: how to pick which manager to prioritize and consequences of multiple managers. Um, Basically, the problems that were found with how to pick which manager to prioritize were that if you did find if the chain of command was not clear and neither manager had more authority over the other, if you were picking a manager to prioritize, that would obviously result in some negative consequences from the other manager who did not get prioritized. And this could be an issue because say you prioritize a task from manager A, and manager B is actually the one in charge of your performance reviews and reporting to upper management. That would result in a lot of negative consequences for an employee when they had no knowledge of who was above of who. So that was one of the consequences of multiple managers. And then moving forward, some possible solutions were stick to what you were told to do first. And this seems like a common sense sort of a deal, but then we can run into issues like we just talked about, whereas a manager who's in charge of your performance reviews and things like that might get the short end of the stick and leave a chip on their shoulder when you come into mind. Secondly, would be ask a supervisor which project to prioritize. But if you ask a supervisor which project to prioritize, that will always produce a biased answer and never a true answer, because if you ask manager A which project to prioritize, he's going to tell you his project, and manager B will tell you his project. So very rarely are you going to ask manager A which project to prioritize, and he'll tell you the one that manager B wants you to do, because these people have stuff that they need to get done as well. So third option was improve the chain of command and communication skills, and this really seemed to be the best option because though it's probably the most difficult option, it has the least negative consequences and actually helps the entire organization. So improving the chain of command doesn't mean changing the chain of command, it just means making it more clear. In a workplace with multiple managers, that can get kind of foggy, and knowing who is above of who will give you a better idea of who to talk to and who to listen to. So that would definitely help out. And then secondly, communication skills. It's been proven that when managers talk to their employees daily in some form, or at least a couple times a week, they're going to be better off and more in tune with what's going on in the company. And this isn't just manager to employee. This is also manager to manager and manager to upper management and things like that. Because if two managers never talk, they never know what each other is trying to accomplish, or they might have an idea, but they don't know the importance. So communication between managers and then down the chain of command is definitely important and most likely the best step. Moving forward from that, how to start the movement. An employee oftentimes does not have a big enough voice to get up to upper management. So what you have to do is enlist a middle manager to help you out, right? So you need to get the middle manager on board, and when he gets on board, he can rally the troops underneath and go talk and take your voice to the upper management. And that's truly the only way for an employee. I mean, sure, there could be other ways, but this is going to be the most effective way. This is going to be the only way for a lower level employee to get his voice up the chain of command. So yeah, overview. Basically, the whole point of this project was that multiple managers need better communication and a clear chain of command in order to keep a productive work environment with high employee morale. And that employee morale is a big one, because without employee morale, your employees are not going to want to be very productive, right? You could have everything set up, but if your employees don't believe in what's going on, they're not going to work as hard as they could be. So you keep your employee morale up, keep your product running smoothly, and that's the best way to ensure high productivity and high employee morale. And without this, it's going to be very difficult to stay productive and get employees to buy into the process of what you're actually trying to accomplish. Thank you very much. That is my presentation.